Hey guys, have you ever wondered how this little fox can do something like this? And this.
When there's rain, there's thunder!
Or this. And many other things. Well, today, I'm gonna show you all how it's done. So first, you set up your camera, then put your figure at the middle. Just one moment, I'm just trying to fix him. Then after that, we would just have to wait for a bit. Alright, it's all set. He can move on its own now. Now that it's activated, you will now ask it to do what actions you want it to do. He could do many things because he is half action figure, half AI robot toy. And that is super smart. And that is how it's done.
Hey, no it isn't.
Yes it is.
No, like, you gotta explain the process of creating these videos.
Nope, sorry. It's a trade secret.
But think about the people that we can help.
Nope. Okay, fine. But you'll be the one to teach them.
Oh, alright. How's it going, everybody? It's me again. Though I'm in my PNG tuber form, because I need to save some budget. Anyway, today I'm gonna show you how we create our videos from scratch. So, the apps that we need to use are Stopmotion Studio. I have the premium version, but the free version is fine too. Next would be Ibis Paint for editing facial expressions, which I'm gonna show you later. And lastly, CapCut. You can use other editing apps because CapCut isn't as free as it used to be. Now to show you the process of creating these stop-motion videos, I break it down into 3 parts. First is dissection, second would be animation, and third would be editing. But before we start, I would say that this video is not a stop-motion tutorial for beginners. I would only show you how we create this in our own style. If you want to learn more about creating stop-motion videos in general, I will put these videos in my description. These videos helped me turn my stop-motion videos from this video 2 years ago to my videos now. So go check them out. I guess I said it all, so let's... Ow, that hurts!
Hey, it's Sonic here, and stay tuned till the end of the video. You know why? Because I will teach you my technique.
Okay, Sonic, we heard you.
Do you have some chili dogs, by the way?
You can go now.
Oh, okay. See you later.
Huh. Anyway, let's begin the first step. Before we animate, we first need to dissect the video. What I mean by that is by knowing exactly when a sound will play. So for this example, I will create the sound of the video that we are going to dissect. The idea is that in the video, I am holding a microchip bomb. Alright, that's good to go. Anyway, I forgot to mention that I have CapCut Pro, and I bought it because I have no other choice. CapCut has a lot of effects and stuff, but man, everything's is just becoming pro. Okay, so this is the part where we are going to dissect the video. Let's put the title of our project here. Next up, we need to set the frames per second of this project to the FPS that we are going to animate in. Let's say if you want to animate in 20 frames per second, then you must set this project the same frames per second so we can accurately point out when a sound will play. Are you still with me? Sorry if that's a lot of words to take in. But anyway, we want to export the video that we will dissect to this project. And also, don't forget to import the sound too. Now, we need to hear the sounds that will play. Perfection! Alright, so this sound is me blinking. Let's find exactly the frame before we hear it, so we can label the quiet part first. This one would be 11 frames ST, as in silent. In this frame, I am supposed to be just smiling. Get it? Because my real name is Miles, and I'm just smiling? Get out! I know, it's very dumb. I guess I'll just be frowning here then. Anyway, Now for blinking, it usually takes me 5 frames only to blink, so I'm just gonna count 5 frames from the 11th frame. Next up would be the sound where I raise my hand to see the bomb. We should find the frame before the sound and count how long it would take. The 37th frame would be the last frame before I raise my hand. To know how many frames it would take to frown, I'll just use my calculator because I'm too lazy to count. So blink is 16. They don't call me genius for nothing, you know. So the frowning frame is 21 frames in total. Next up, we will mark the frames when the squeaky sound plays. This is where I raise my hand to see the bomb. For this action, though, I would write the frames in many part so that it would be easier for me to know when would my hand will slow down. We would be applying the principle of easing out when I raise my hand. Again, easing out in simple terms is when fast things slow down to rest naturally, like how a car brakes. To explain how easing out is applied here, after I raise my hand, we start with fewer frames or 3 frames of bounce back many times, then adding more frames to show slowing down. Now here, I put 4 frames instead of 3 to show that my hand stopped from bouncing around. But keep in mind that these are just guides only, because in some situations, the things that we have written here would not make a little bit of sense when we animate in actuality. I'll say that these are not rules, just guidelines. Let me just use my calculator again. Okay, the last one to record would be the explosion. I would also chop these frames into many parts, just like how I did with me raising my hand. But since this is an explosion, it will need a lot of bouncing around, so I'll probably go rock and forth at least 4 times. Alright, now I'll just need to put the final bounce back frames and we're done! Oh yeah, I almost forgot to write the shocked frames after the explosion. I'm just gonna solve this equation. Got it! I'll just check from the start to see how the video goes again. Now for the final step. We're going to write all of this to a piece of paper. In this way, we can start animating even without putting the sound effects in the Stopmotion app. Before I've come up with this way of animating, I always export the sound of the video to Stopmotion Studio. It works, but it's kinda less efficient and even more time-consuming when you play the sound again and again, just so you can animate the next action. It's kinda funny thinking about it, where animating 50 frames was very hard, but now it's just a walk in the park. Anyway, this is the finished version. As you can see, it's much more clearer. Now with this paper, we can begin animating. Now, we are in the main and second step, which is animation. Before showing you how we create these stop-motion videos, I'm going to tell you first the 2 principles of animation that we need to know. This is very important. The first principle is easing in and out. This is a technique where we can make movement and actions way smoother and natural by adjusting the speed of the movement over time. As we can see in this video that I showed earlier, the car doesn't go fast in an instant. The easing in part is where the car starts slowly and gets even faster, while the easing out part is when the car goes from moving fast to slowing down over time as it finishes. Now, the second principle is follow through and drag. In this video, we can see that the head moves first while the ball thing follows it last. The follow through is when the other parts of the body continues to move after the main body stops. The technique for doing this is called drag, where you delay the movement of body parts to the main body. So for this example, we have 3 parts of my body that we need to move: the head, body, and hands. The main part is the body, where we move it forward first. The head and hands will be turned backward up to show that it stays in its place while the body moves forward. The head is moving forward with the body while the hands are far back than we want it to be. We need it to stay in its place first. Alright, this one is good to go. Now that we've taken a picture, the next frame would be all parts moving in the same direction. Do it for 3 frames at least in this situation. Perfect. All the 3 frames are done. Now, to create an idle animation loop, we will put the body up while delaying the head and hands for 1 frame. Good! Next would be all parts heading the same direction. We would be doing this for 4 frames. All done. Let's see how it goes. So this is how follow through and drag is applied in stop motion. The technique again is to delay some parts, in this case the head and hands, from the main body to get a natural action. Now that you know the 2 principles that I mainly apply to my videos, I'll show you how we can animate with the help of the paper that we created in step 1. Before we animate in Stop Motion Studio, there are some settings that we need to adjust first. What the f? Anyway, we can choose what aspect ratio to use, but for this video, I'm gonna choose the square. Now our screen becomes slightly dim on the side. Next, we want this setting to be on letter M, so that our camera's lighting will be stable and not make random bright pictures. To make the pictures brighter, we can increase the ISO, or the shutter speed. About shutter speed, while it can make the pictures brighter if you increase it, it can also make your camera feel laggy, as you can see here. The lagginess doesn't affect the animation itself, but it can feel a bit irritating, at least for me. So in my animations, I put my shutter speed down while I increase the ISO. I would also like to mention that the thing we use for the figures to stick it to the ground is silly putty, specifically the glow-in-the-dark ones. I know majority of stop-motion animators use the blue sticky tack ones, but I got used with using silly putty. The color of the putty also blends well with the table. The focus can be adjusted to make your pictures blurry or clear. Another thing to mention that isn't shown in this video is the frames per second. I usually animate in 20 frames per second, but in my early days, I animated in 18 FPS. Generally, it is recommended to animate in lower frames, such as 12 frames per second. But it kinda depends on what animation style you want to master. You can still create good animations with 12 FPS too. Alright, now it's time to animate. On the upper left side, there would be a picture of how much frames should we do for a specific action. In the picture, it says 11 frames for frowning. So we are going to animate an idle animation of me just frowning. Back when I'm just starting to animate stop-motion videos, I animated just by guessing what sounds will play. I didn't even think about planning what actions to animate, so it took me many hours just to finish a single animation. Alright, we're done at making 11 frames of frowning. Next would be 5 frames of blinking. Without a plan to follow, doing stop motions feels very hard, and if you're a little bit of a perfectionist, it would also be scary. But the good thing about writing your plan in the paper first is that it saves you the energy to think. You can put this extra energy into paying attention to your action figures and how you move them. With the limited number of frames you can use shown in the paper, your mind will come up with many creative ways to make any action you want to happen possible. Another thing when you do stop-motion animation videos for a long time is you develop a strong sense of intuition. What I mean by that is you can guess better in creating specific actions. You can feel how much speed you should put in an action, or how much space should an action take. I write my plans and my expectations in the paper, but in the actual animation where you physically need to move things, some situations would make your plans not possible, but intuition plays a huge part in making actions feel natural. Okay, now that we've done 5 frames of blinking, we will have to do 21 frames of idle frowning animation. You don't need to think what action to make next. Now that you have a paper telling you what to do, what you'll need is how to do that action. But to do that action needs a lot of intuition. And intuition can only be developed with a lot of practice. About practice. The time to get good at something is different for everybody, so don't get frustrated when your work is not like what you've expected. Well, before this channel was created, my animator, Albert, used to have an old 2D animation channel, so he had a little bit of experience with animating. His channel is still here up to this day, I think, but it doesn't matter anymore. He works for me now, 'cause I'm the boss. Or maybe not, I don't know. 'Cause I don't want to be in the thrift store, so maybe he's the boss. But at the end of the day, the sky gets dark, and we need the light bulb to see. So maybe the light bulb is the boss. Sonic can't be the boss because he gets in a lot of boss fights. If he becomes a boss, he'll probably fight himself. I don't know. Maybe you can be the boss. What even is this video about again? Oh yeah, this one is supposed to be a tutorial. Good thing I already said to watch the better tutorials at the start of the video. I'm just gonna chill for a bit till he's done. Oh, it's done, all right. That is good. Very, very good. Well done. So the next thing to animate is me raising my arm. As you can remember, this one action is broken down into many parts. In this way, we can see how to make my arm rest naturally by applying the easing out technique. But we should remember again that this paper on the upper left is just a guide only, so we don't need to follow it exactly. I don't have much to say, so I guess I'll just speed up the video to get to the next step, which is editing. All right, now the animation phase is done. Let's see how this one plays out. Now, this animation is done, but it's not yet complete. What I want after the explosion is that I would be looking at the camera confused. So in the next step, I'll show you how we can edit facial expressions in Ibis Paint. I'll copy some frames and put it in another project so that I would only get the frames that I need to edit. So I copied 5 frames only, because we're just gonna loop it in the end. To get the frames as pictures, we just need to save this as all images, then export. After saving it, it'll turn into a zip file. So after saving it, we need to go to the Files app and extract the zip file to get all the frames in exact order as our animation. Here in Ibis Paint, we're going to import all the frames and edit it. But we can only create an animation project if you have the premium version. Well, if you don't have the premium version, you can still edit the frames. So all you need to do is to go edit the canvas size and put in the default aspect ratio of a horizontal video, which is 16:9. My aspect ratio specifically is 2K resolution, so that the quality doesn't drop once you edit the frames. Now, once you're in the project, the best you can do is just import all the frames in order for each layer. But it'll be a lot of work and even more difficult to be consistent in editing facial expressions. So I guess you'll just have to buy it, maybe save up some money. Now, we export all frames one by one. First, we need to click this camera icon on the bottom left. Then click the 3 dots on the upper right side. This will take us to our Files Manager. After that, we need to go to the image files where the extracted frames are. You'll see that the names for each frame are arranged in the order from 0 up to 4. So we'll start with number 0. If the frame doesn't fit in the canvas, then we click the perspective form. It's a perfect fit as long as the aspect ratio is 16:9. All right, the next thing to do is to create the sketch for the facial expression. I'm going to draw a confused expression, so I'm going to fold only the left side of the eye. I'm using pencil number 2, and the color that I'm using is red. It doesn't matter what color you'll use. For me to have a consistent expression, I'll just draw this weird shape that I created. Not to brag, but it's really effective and kinda genius. Dang it, straighten up! What's wrong with this thing? Whatever. Now it's done. Okay, so now I'm gonna draw the weird shape. Watch me draw the sketch. All Alright, here's the sketch that I made. I'm also gonna draw a little red dot above the iris. This little spot is a big help in maintaining the position of the sketch. The next thing to do is copy it so we can paste it on all the frames. In here, I'm just making sure that the little red dot is always at the middle. It doesn't always need to be in the middle exactly. After putting all of the sketch, we need to lower the opacity of all of it so we can begin shaping the eye. But first, I'm going to show you the special pen that I use that allows us to shape the eye like a clay. So, you're going to click this button here. It'll show you different kinds of tools, but we'll need the special pen. So click it. Now these are the special pen types. The pen that we need to use is called drag. I'll start working after I lowered the opacity of the sketches. All right, as you can see, this big circle would show up. Now all we need to do is brush my eye. We would want the yellows to be in the same level as the red line. Sometimes though, the red line might be inaccurate, so we need to play the video and check. This process really takes me a lot of time. Just play other videos that doesn't require you to watch it, but will keep you entertained while you work on something. Now back to my work. So the next thing to do is turn the sketch layer off. We're still not done yet because I want the eyes to look at the camera. To do that, I would need to move my left pupil away from the middle. So first we'll use the lasso tool to select my iris and copy it. I'll try to make an oval carefully. Next would be to click this square icon and cut. Then I'll undo the process to see my eye back. Now let's go down here again and click the special pen button. Then click the special button again to see all the extra special pens. The pen we are going to use is the Copy Pen Fixed. What it does is it copies anything inside the circle. We'll use this pen to cover the iris of the eye. This pen will copy the texture, making the cover look natural. This is what I think how photoshopping is done. I always wondered how complicated it is to Photoshop something, but I didn't realize it was this easy. Well, you can also use some regular old airbrush, but I don't think it'll be as good as using the copy pen. The airbrush texture would probably be decent too, but it just doesn't look good for me at least. Another thing with using the airbrush is that it can be a lot of work, compared to using the copy pen where it copies the white in just one swipe. So I'll strongly recommend to stick with using the copy pen tool. Now I'll just have to do this for all frames. For the last step, we need to click paste to get the eye and position it. I want to point out the 3 icons at the bottom. What we should use is the icon in the middle called the perspective form. This icon allows us to alter the eye in the right angle. It's kind of tricky to put my iris in the right perspective, so sometimes I just search Google for images of anime eye angles as a reference to get the right angles. I also practice drawing the eyes and try it on different angles on paper, so I would get the idea and apply it here. I don't know why I'm taking too long to place this eye. Alright, now the next thing to do is I'm gonna put another 2 red dots to mark the position. I want to put these dots here in this specific position so that I'll have a spot that I need to fill every time I paste the eye for all the frames. Let's use the lasso tool to select it, then copy. I'll just carefully place the red dot in this corner. I'm also relying on my hunch to be a little bit precise. Placing the eyes would be easy once you get used to it. You also need to watch out of your own eyes too. The light from the phone screens can be irritating, so to check if your eye comfort shield is turned on in your phone. Alright, now we'll erase the red dots, then save all the frames. We're going back to Stopmotion Studio to import the edited frames. Now, once we are in the project, we would have to delete the unedited frames and replace it with the new ones. You need to make sure that you start from the first frame that we saved up to the last, or it'll turn into a big mess. We'll export this project and head over to CapCut, where we can put the sound effects in the explosion green screen. In CapCut, I'll get the sound from this video by extracting it. But just recently, the extract audio got turned into a pro feature, which really sucks. But don't worry, we have an alternative solution. We'll just have to overlay this video, then lower the opacity until we can't see it anymore. And there you go. We can use the sound without extracting it. Well, shout out to Sans who taught me this trick. Honestly, it doesn't even make sense to turn the extract audio into a pro feature. They're just squeezing every penny at this point. Anyway, I'm going to put the explosion green screen now. To remove the green screen, I'm going to click the Remove BG icon here, then click the chroma key. I'm just going to put it at the right place and the right time. I'll also increase the size of the explosion because it looks cool. Now I'm making the explosion move along with the hands. Another thing that I want to do is to lower the opacity at the end so the explosion goes away naturally. Now I'm done, and there's nothing more to do but export this video. I'll show you the finished results. And that is how we create these stop-motion videos in this channel. I hope you learned something from this video. I'll feel glad if you could apply the knowledge you have learned to your own creations. Well, I also enjoyed the time I spent with you. So, I guess this is goodbye
Tails
then.
don't end it yet!
Ah!
Phew, just in time. And I'll give you another useful tip. So if you have perfected your very awesome, cool performance, but no one else wants to show up, then make them show up instantly by using this tool. This tool is called masking. What this tool does is it slices your video in half or in any way you want, allowing another video layer to be seen at the same time. So here, half of the video is sliced. Now I'm gonna put the unsuspecting, unsupportive friend and let him see what true art is. Oh, hey! Hi, Tails buddy.
Well, anyway, click the like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Any kind of support really helps, and please tell us if you want to see more videos like this, besides our stop-motion videos, in the comments.
Don't forget what I've teached you.
Haha, yeah. Thank you for watching.
Knuckles, stop staring like that. It's really creepy.